Hi everyone, this is Mary Ellen coming to you from Rise Cottage for your August 2017 full moon eclipse reading taking place on the 7th of August. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you would like a personal reading, all that information is in the description box. Just below the video there is a link that says show more. If you click that, there is a lot of information there about how to get a personal reading, how to send a reservation, and how to make a reservation for the live stream events that are going to happen beginning the end of August. I think I've decided to start on the 29th. I believe that's a Tuesday, but it happens to be my birthday, so I thought that might be a fun present for myself to start something new in honor of the eclipses and all the wonderful people who've come here to accompany me on this journey, and vice versa. So, for those of you that didn't take part in the part one, Spirit asked me to do a fire ceremony. The readings have been a little different this month, more intense, more involved. My inclination as a Virgo is to just do things that are very simple. And so I've been asked to step out a little bit more in response to all that is happening this month. Okay? So, as the cards were coming out, this is the card that sits over the top. That's the theme, the light, the message, if you will, from Spirit about this reading. And it's interesting because this card really wanted to come out face up, and I resisted that. And then I realized, no, just follow the impulse. That's what this is all about. Follow the impulse, Spirit said to me. That has come through in a lot of the readings, following your sacred pathway, that which comes to you as a sacred impulse. So we'll talk about this when we get there, but Spirit wanted these two cards to be revealed together, even though this is technically the outcome. There's a desire coming through to speak with you, to help you understand through the illustration of this card that Spirit is literally here speaking with you and has been here on this pathway through 2017 and would like to continue this beautiful, skillful dialogue that's been evolving through these readings and all the other ways, Spirit says, that people have of honoring themselves and bringing their spirit knowledge and energy to the surface of their lives. So, it's interesting that these are here together. This is the judgment of knowledge. Spirit's telling me to throw another match into the fire, so bear with me. The judgment of knowledge has shown up in a lot of readings. It's very interesting to me that it's here in the center today. Given the path that we've been on, Spirit says, the path of the initiate, as we go forward. So, the judgment of knowledge. And Spirit's saying, this is Spirit. Okay, here's what's coming through. This is Spirit's way of asking you to just stand in these moments through the eclipses. Spirit says we're going to be in a little bit of suspended animation. That's interesting. Depending on what you read online, there's going to be a little bit of upsetting, challenging energy coming through that's going to further, Spirit says, roust us out of our slumber. And we've seen that with the sacred shaman that has been here, awakening us and releasing us as we've been through these days, Spirit says. And so now, after all we've learned and after all we've been through, this is a moment, Spirit says, to gather yourself and judge the knowledge you've come into, which means ponder it, think about it, how does it relate to your own life? How is it that you approach those things that cause disturbance in your energy, in your ability to love and accept yourself, and to be able to stand in that form of stable power, Spirit says. This gentleman was an upstanding person in his community, of some wealth and some social power. He was being lied to and stolen from and cheated, etc. There came a moment when he had to just gather himself and face that which was disturbing in order to relinquish and release it from his life so that it no longer affected him. And so that is the message laying over the top of the reading, giving it theme and giving it light and giving it spirit, pardon me, my tongue is stripping. Spirit presence is the phrase that's coming through. And this is the conversation, Spirit's telling me, that's been happening as we've been winding our way through 2017. So, Spirit says, it is both the outcome, but it has also been the process. This beautiful dialogue of skill, together with Spirit, in this beautiful, gentle, loving way, working toward awakening you in all of these ways as you have traversed. You see that little hibernating animal? That's what Spirit's saying. As you have awakened and come out of the places in which your soul has been residing, in order to experience the richness of being, Spirit is here with you, continuing to have this discussion because of the information that is going to be coming in through the portal created by this eclipse. Okay, so a little more, a couple more leaves. These are sage. This is sage, wild sage that was gathered for me by a friend of mine. So, all right, so underneath here, this is the card and the energy that signifies you in this moment. There, look at that. That's beautiful. That is the elopement of skill. Okay, that is why Spirit is here in this dialogue with you about the skill of being the skill required for spirit beings who've chosen to come and stand here on the earth and have these many experiences. Spirit says, do not feel that you are here alone. You are journeying for a specific purpose. And ultimately, the goal is reuniting with yourself. And it's interesting that this card should show up, because this came out during the last eclipse season. There's a reading, if you don't know, there is a playlist, pardon me, on my channel, excuse me, about the eclipse that happened in February. There was a ring of fire. Spirit says, go look at those eclipse readings, pardon me, so that you can understand the full nature of this. Spirit says the full impact of what it is to align yourself in a yin-yang way with your own dual nature and bond together in order for your energy to rise and free itself. That's what this is about. The elopement of skill. And look at all the beautiful light that scene is bathed in. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. And here, beautiful. The augury of art. Look at that. An augury is a prophecy. It is a number 1 card, so it's a new beginning. Spirit says, the vision of things to come. Standing before the sacred cauldron, with the spiral of life turning, just as a reminder. In this beautiful image, one of my viewers said that looks just like the city of Chicago. Isn't that interesting? I haven't had time to look it up yet. Nonetheless, being able to apply your sacred energy in order to manifest what you want from the abundance that does exist. So, in these moments of magic, this is where you stand. In your human walk, this is the first card. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's look. Oh boy, that is beautiful. Oh my gosh, okay. So, this is the judgment of knowledge that was here. And this is the judgment of skill. Okay, so through this eclipse, you are going to have this experience of having moments of stillness while you come fully into your understanding of the skills that you've developed and the places you've traveled to and from, Spirit says, so far in 2017. The judgment of your skill set, the things you are leaving behind, and the things that you're taking with you. A moment to ponder in this beautiful, tranquil place. All that has come before, and the meaning of it, Spirit says. You see that? All the challenges, all the battles, all the places in which you have triumphed, and the ways in which it has illuminated your energy and your intention, Spirit says. Look at that beautiful card. Isn't that astounding? And Spirit says, look, Spirit always, you folks know that have been here, Spirit wants me to play the movie, all right? So, Spirit says, in your human walk, there you have arrived into this place, in this moment, when magic is awakened on the earth because of the nature of this moon eclipse. And in those moments, Spirit says, this is your advice. Just be still and quiet. Be with yourself in the way you would if you found yourself in a scene like this, where you might just put down a towel or a blanket and just spend the day reveling in this beautiful scene and giving yourself time to be completely with your thoughts, with your heart, with your psyche, and the part of you that travels, and all these distant places that we do not usually speak about. Allow yourself to just be there. Understand where you are standing. Come to the shore of the augury, of the art, of sacred living. And allow these moments to unfold as you ponder what you are in the process of creating now that you have arrived in this moment. It's beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, look. Woo! You know, you guys know me well enough now. I love this card. I am very excited. Very excited. Okay, I'm going to put another match on the fire. Just in honor of the changer that has shown up here as the next step in our human walk, having come to the augury of art. It's a phenomenal assistance that we have in this moment as we approach the eclipse of the sun that's coming. Look at that. Yay, everybody clap your hands. Look at that. See the lightning bolt? The spiral right at the center of your being. Beautiful male energy. A beautiful prophecy has arrived. This beautiful female energy. Look at that. This beautiful sacred place of abundance. And having arrived here, we are gifted with the changer. In order to give us the ability to release that which no longer serves us. And the impetus of beautiful sacred male energy to drive our desires forward and to send them out into the universe, Spirit says, into our hearts, deeper into our hearts, and from there out into the universe. So there's some chatter coming through about this. About the Spirit wants you to, all right, I'm getting told to play the movie again, wants you to ponder this in light of the cards that have already come out. Okay, so here's the movie. This is your human walk. You've arrived here. I mean, this is astoundingly beautiful in and of itself. A new beginning. Because this full moon eclipse brings us to a point of completion. And there we are, pondering that notion, Spirit says. And making decisions and changing ourselves and our will and our truth with the impetus, Spirit says, to drive the changes that we desire in our hearts when we stand in this place. Spirit says we are fully vested with the power to achieve that which we desire in these moments. So Spirit says, think big and dream deep and know that you can create that which you desire here on this planet. When it comes to the love and the stability that we would like to see evolve. This is the moment. Okay, thank you, Spirit. There's the cauldron. Okay, Spirit says, have your own fire ceremony in whatever way you can do it. And send your prayers and your desires to the heavens while simultaneously releasing that which no longer serves you or us, those parts of your nature that served you to help you get to this moment, even if you've judged them to be negative. You know, I've had my challenges, many. I'm a simple human being walking the planet. I've been gifted in the ways I've been. And in my pathway, in order to reach my destiny, it's been very challenging. I've come through a lot of self-change. I've had to release parts of myself and take other parts of myself up and draw them close. Spirit says that's what this is about. In these next couple of weeks. And this aspect will be available to us for the next 6 months as a companion to the energy that's coming at the solar eclipse. And I'll make that video in a couple of days. I want to get past this moment and give everybody a chance to take this up into themselves, Spirit says, and then the next video will come out. Okay. Beautiful. Look at that. Wow, that's gorgeous. All right. Now, give me a moment. I'm going to tend to the fire while I turn this next card. And look at that. This is the bridge card that takes you from this walk you're on through the eclipse into your spirit journey. The balancer. Look, deep out across the mystical realm. That is why the raven feathers wanted to be here. Look at that. Beautiful energy. Standing at the apex, in the center of this change, standing in your place, allowing the energies to move and shift and change as you absorb all these sacred gifts, Spirit says. That's beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to fan this a little bit. Okay, look. So there's our spirit journey. There's Raven. Okay. Do you see the heart chakra wounding? Spirit says the energy of this has been in our sky, in our psyche for so long. Almost all of human history. Causing us to be in our energetic existence, holding ourselves. And that is part of what is being released through these moments. That is a sacred game of strategy. It's a magical game in the lore of this card. These two people were playing this game, and because they were magic beings, actually that is King Arthur. And that's his cousin. Okay? So, Spirit says all our relations here on this planet. And the sun's coming up. It's a new day. And they're having this moment of supposed fun, Spirit says. And yet this person, there was some deceit going on. There was a lack of peace and harmony that created this feeling on the inside. And eventually, King Arthur just got up and walked away and put an end to Spirit says, the tomfoolery that this person was doing. They were playing a game. They were cousins. And so he was cheating. Spirit says he was being a little cheeky. And they actually controlled real armies. In the background, were actually fighting based on what was happening on the chessboard. And so Arthur kept asking him to stop. And he just wouldn't do it. And eventually, because he had the power, because he had the magical power to change the situation, he just came to a moment where he crushed this person's army in the background and stopped all of this, Spirit says, tomfoolery, and got up and walked away from participating in this kind of a strategic game. And I find that very interesting that that's coming out on the spirit realm for this reading. I love it. So what's coming through is that, because of what we're seeing here, this aspect that has come to us on our human journey allows us to balance these energies in order to move away from this way of being. And in some way, that's the message that's been coming out. As we, each of us, in our astrological set point, have stepped onto our initiation journey, it's been about these types of themes. And Spirit says, and we're each doing our part through our travel in our energetic set point. And look, oh, that's beautiful. Look, that is a major arcana card. That is the Imaginer of Harmony. Look how deep we are diving into the mystical realm. There's the sacred vessel with golden oars. It can take us to whatever destination we desire that we can imagine. At the full moon, as this eclipse comes on, Spirit's saying in these days, I think today, honestly, I've lost track of time because of all the things that have been going on for me and how deep I've gone to get the readings out, etc. But I think it's the 4th. I woke up this morning and I thought, eye surgery or not, I have to get the reading out because there was so much astral travel that happened for me all night. I kind of woke up exhausted. And this morning, I had to rest myself back to the surface because this is where I was. Literally, this is where I was last night and this morning. And any of you who experienced that, I am gonna be doing these live streaming events. This topic is going to be on the menu. Spirit wants me to talk about it because so many people have questions. So we're going to talk about the eclipses, and we'll move on to astral travel, and we're going to do a session that has to do with manifesting spirits. Spirits chiming in saying, oh, I'm doing more than one. So that's good to know. So if you haven't signed up for that yet, please do so now. Go to that show more button. The information's there. Okay? Alright, so my camera memory is almost full. I have to stop the video for a moment and then we'll go forward. Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry about that. That gave me a chance to tend the fire a little bit. I didn't want it to go completely out. So, again, Spirit's saying, play the movie. So, let's see. It goes like this. Spirit says, what we can imagine, right? The augury of art. Our ability to use our energy and our desires to bring forth that which we desire as we balance our energy here. In these moments, through the eclipse, Spirit says. And Spirit's asking me to do this. Spirit says, see that? Remember where we started? Spirit's saying, that's what I'm talking about. Moving away, developing the skill set and the power and the ability to put your energy where your real desire is. In order for this way of strategizing and how we do life here on this planet to continue to shift and change that, given our spiritual resonance as we have developed, between Spirit saying, between that eclipse, meaning February, and this one. And that's why I was hearing, whatever it was I was hearing while I was doing astral travel this morning, laying in bed, last night and this morning. It was really intense and beautiful, and this was the feeling of it, being deep out on the flow of the energy. And in whatever way those things happen, right? I don't claim to understand it, I just have the experience. Hearing, Spirit saying, I can hear you. I could hear you. Okay, those are my words, but it's coming from Spirit. Spirit wanted me, oh, there's the message. Spirit was giving me the experience of the heavens. That's the phrase coming through. Hearing all the voices. Spirit wants you to know you are heard. You are very definitely heard. Do not doubt. That's why this wanted to come out. Don't doubt that this is an ongoing process. This dialogue of skill. As you transform through the days of your existence, you are being heard. You are being given counsel. And this conversation, Spirit says, goes in both directions. That's beautiful. You know, there's one other message that's coming through about this, this following this. There is some notion out there. I know you all will look at sort of your favorite astrologers as we come into the eclipse season, if you have not already. And, there are people who are saying it's going to be a little tense. Spirit says, stay focused here. Allow yourself to balance your energy and understand that, sure, these aspects come and go. This too will pass. The sun is coming up. The next eclipse is arriving. So in these moments of tension, stay steady, Spirit says. Stay steady. A friend of mine in Ireland, who I'm very much looking forward to spending some time with when I get there, sent me a sweet little message when I was getting ready to have my surgery, and she said, "Mind yourself." And I can hear her voice coming through Spirit. Spirit's just saying, just mind yourself. Take a deep breath. Don't be rash. If you feel tension, if you feel upset, if your anger rises to the surface, remember where you really are standing, Spirit says. You're standing in this moment. So, to the best of your ability, breathe deep and dive in. Dive in. And Spirit says, it's going to feel so good. Look at that. Diving deep into the waters of the moon. Beautiful. I'm actually looking forward to be doing a lot of astral travel in the next couple of days till the moon comes full. Spirit's already told me, buckle up, because you're going. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what's here. Look. Okay, I do. Sometimes I just want to burst into tears. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Okay. It's interesting. This is a partial eclipse of the full moon. Spirit's really talking to us. Look how beautiful this is. This is another augury. And this one is about knowledge. It's a prophecy about going forward. Actualize, activate. With this beautiful knowledge coming into you at the light of this full moon eclipse, don't doubt there's a portal. Spirit's saying in the background, this is the opportunity that is available. Each of you will feel it in your own way, depending on your own life and your set point, and that which is meant for you. Look at that. Able to be a vessel, Spirit is saying in the background. Becoming able to be a sacred vessel and understanding the meaning of that. In order to stand in your life in this way, Spirit says, with this capacity, to take the love and the spirit energy and the illumination into yourself, to be able to receive it and allow it to fill you and transform you and flow out of you. That is the purpose. And that's why Spirit's always often saying, be humble. This is not about self-aggrandizement. This is about being real in your life, in yourself, in your place, where you stand. This is your sacred capacity. I'll be very eager to hear from everyone how this eclipse affects you and where you are standing in your own self-understanding, your own self-knowledge as you come through the eclipse. You know what, I'm going to move this aside a little bit. Thank you, Spirit, for that. See if I can keep that from falling off the desk. So I can move these cards up and you can see them better. I want you just to be able to gaze into them a little bit, okay? So Spirit wants me to leave you with this notion, to circle back and ask you just to remember This is always true. You see that? Always a sacred conversation with love and care to help you continue to evolve and shift and change. Love the process. Love yourself. Standing in the middle of the process, love yourself very deeply. Feel the energy of Spirit coming into you in whichever way that is significant for you. And don't doubt that this is your destiny and that this process and this conversation with Spirit continues on to the end of your days. That's what Spirit says. All right. So I'm going to pick from the bag of runes to close out the reading. And I thank everyone for being here. Can't remember, I go into a little bit of a trance, so in case I didn't say it, if you want information about a personal reading, about signing up for the live stream, about meeting with me while I'm in Ireland from September 16th through the 5th of October, click on the Show More button below the video. All that information is there. All right? I am taking reservations for in-person readings while I'm in Ireland. So please send me an email. My email address is at the bottom of all that info. Scroll right down to the bottom. Okay. Oh, Spirit wants me to put this here. Right there for you. There's so much love coming through my heart chakra. I hope you can feel it. Beautiful. Okay. That is the rune of opening. Pardon me. I'm just going to scroll through and read from the book. This is the... Thank you, Spirit. Oh, look at that. The rune of opening. Fire. The torch. There you go. You know... Like you, I never understand these messages. It's only with hindsight. Isn't it interesting? And, so Spirit's making me laugh, of course. Now I get it. Spirit says, don't worry. It's a process. It's okay. It's meant to be mysterious. But don't doubt that the messages are coming through. And the way things unfold during these readings are meant to demonstrate and illustrate, Spirit says, that idea for everyone through me. Through the follies that I experience and the things that come to mind and the way things happen. Because believe me, I doubt. I can be a doubting Thomas. And always comes a message that helps me understand and come to a place of clarity. It's just so... So that's blowing my mind. Let me see if I can get out of the way so you can see the cards a little bit. I'm going to try to move the camera just a wee bit. Okay. This is the rune Kano. It is the rune of opening and renewed clarity, of dispelling the darkness that has been shrouding some part of your life. You are free now, both to receive gifts and to know the joy of non-attached giving. Kano is the rune for the morning of activities, for seriousness, clear intent, and concentration, all of which are essential at the beginning of any endeavor. This is one of the 13 cycle runes. The protection offered by Kano is this: the more light you have, the better you can see what is trivial and outmoded in your own conditioning. Spirit's asking me to point to that. In relationships, there can now be a mutual opening up, which you may trigger and set in motion through your awareness in the light of understanding that is once again available to you. Recognize that while on the one hand you are limited and dependent, on the other hand you exist at the perfect center where harmony and harmonious and beneficent forces of the universe merge and radiate. That's what I was feeling. I can't wait to talk with you guys about the whole astral travel thing. I know it's happening. It's not just me. I'm going to read that part again, okay? Recognize that while on the one hand you are limited and dependent, on the other you exist at the perfect center where the harmonious and beneficent forces of the universe merge and radiate. You are that center. Simply put, if you have been operating in the dark, there is now enough light to see that the patient on the operating table, Spirit, is you. Okay, now Spirit's yanking my chain a little bit. It's just, oh gosh. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. Sending every bit of love that comes into me, flowing straight out, right at you. I'll be looking forward to speaking with you in the live stream that's going to happen right at the end of August on the 29th.